Kevin Costner doesn't throw the word masterpiece around lightly. This is a man who's mortgaged his house, risked his career, and allegedly lost his marriage to make movies he believes in. So when he names 5 perfect films, you listen. Mention this movie, and the first thing people do is quote one of the most famous lines in movie history. What we have here is a failure to communicate. No question, that's a great line. But there is so much more to this movie, and it holds up beautifully half a century later. Costner calls it a wonderful movie, and he's not alone. Hollywood A-listers love this 1967 classic. Woody Harrelson, Carl Urban, and Ryan Phillippe all call it an inspiration. The film has it all. Paul Newman at his peak, a perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and one of the most quoted lines in cinema history. Newman even prepped for the role by studying real people in West Virginia. The result? A flawless performance that became the template for so many films to follow. The Sand Pebbles is the most unusual Costner's pick of the bunch. Unlike the rest, it isn't considered one of the great classics of 20th century cinema. Directed by Robert Wise of The Sound of Music fame, this 1966 epic is nearly 200 minutes long and set in 1920s China, where Steve McQueen plays a rebellious Navy engineer. It's not your typical McQueen role. It shows a more sensitive side of the actor. McQueen's performance was so good, it earned him his only Oscar nomination. And Wise didn't just stop there. He crafted an allegory for the Vietnam War that resonated with audiences and critics alike, snagging 8 Oscar nominations overall. Costner isn't the only one Hollywood A-lister who considers this one a masterpiece. Ethan Hawke called it the great American novel of its era, and J.K. Simmons praised it as wonderfully done. But Ken Kesey, who wrote the novel, despised the adaptation. He sued the producers, angry that McMurphy, not Chief Bromden, became the focus. Kesey wanted 5% of the film's gross profits and $800,000 in damages. He settled out of court eventually, but never watched the final film. Nicholson and director Milos Forman hated each other so much they only communicated through the cinematographer. Despite all this chaos, Cuckoo's Nest swept the Oscars, winning 5, including Best Picture. Directed by George Stevens, it stars James Dean, Elizabeth Taylor, and Rock Hudson in an epic story of ambition, envy, and downfall. Dean played Jet Rink, a ranch hand who rises to power at a devastating personal cost. Tragically, Giant was Dean's last film. He died during production, becoming the first actor ever nominated for an Oscar posthumously. Behind the scenes, Elizabeth Taylor clashed with Stevens and was deeply affected by Dean's death. Despite these challenges, Giant was a commercial triumph, and even Martin Scorsese counts it among his guilty pleasures. "I think it's a perfect movie," Costner said, and few would disagree. But the production was anything but magical. Judy Garland was earning just $500 a week, 6 times less than her co-stars. Director Victor Fleming even slapped Garland on set for giggling, and the costumes were literal torture. The Tin Man's aluminum makeup poisoned the original actor, and the Wicked Witch suffered second-degree burns from a botched pyrotechnic stunt. Despite the chaos, Garland delivered one of the most beloved performances of all time. No wonder The Wizard of Oz is a favorite of icons like Pierce Brosnan, Amy Adams, and even James Cameron, who ranked it as his #1 film.